Hello, welcome to my live. This is immigration attorney Moumita. I'm here to talk to you about immigration and to see what may be on your minds tonight. And I have a particular topic that I would like to start discussing. And before I go into that, the topic is, can you and your spouse get a green card if you don't live in the same state? Is it still possible to get a green card if you and your spouse don't live together in the same state? I'll dive into that. But before I do that, my name is Moumita Rahman. I am an immigration lawyer. I have been an immigration lawyer for the past 11 years, and I am based out of New York. However, I work with clients all over the US, in fact, all over the world, but primarily in the US, and primarily for persons who are seeking green cards based upon their marriage, whether they are with their spouse or whether they are no longer with their spouses. So let's talk about this very important topic. And any of you who are watching right now who would like to reach me, you can call anytime. My assistants, Josue and Guido, are waiting right now to take your phone call. You can call 212-248-797-7907 to book an appointment with me. So if you and your spouse are not living together in the same state, is it still possible to get a green card, or will immigration immediately deny your case? The answer is no. Immigration will not immediately deny your case. And yes, it may still be possible to get a green card even if you are not living in the same state as your husband or as your wife. However, anytime you have any facts in your case where things are just a little bit different, right? For example, if you and your spouse have a very big age difference, or the circumstances of your meeting are such that you get married very soon after you start dating, or you don't live together in the same house, then it definitely raises additional questions for immigration about whether your marriage is real and whether it was made in good faith or whether it is a fake marriage for the purpose of obtaining a green card. So what I do want to say to you is this: just because you don't live in the same state does not necessarily mean that your marriage is not real. There may be many reasons why you don't live together. For example, if a spouse is attending school, or if someone's in the military, or you have to live in a different state for work reasons, or to take care of sick family members. There could be many, many reasons. However, no matter what the reason is about why you are not living in the same state as your spouse, a few things always remain true. Number one, you must always tell the truth about where you live. You should not try to make things look better to say that you are living in the same state or in the same house if you are not actually doing that. And second, you must be able to show a good explanation about why you don't live together. For example, if you're not living in the same state, yet you're requesting a green card based off of your marriage, and the only explanation that you have is, I just don't feel like moving, that's probably not going to be good enough. You probably want to give a better good faith reason that is a good justification about why you're not living in the same place. And third, anytime you have a fact like this, especially when you and your spouse are not living in the same house, really there's going to be a higher level of scrutiny by immigration into your case to test whether it is a bona fide good faith marriage. And it is always going to be immigration's job to seek out those marriages that are not real, that are not valid, that are not made in good faith. And you're just going to have a little bit of a more test. So definitely what I recommend in cases like that where you are not living in the same state, number one, work with an attorney, because an attorney is going to know how to put together your case and help you present it well, and help you be able to discuss the good reasons why you're not living in the same state. You can give us a call, 212-248-7907. We've definitely helped many people get their green cards approved even though they were not living in the same place. Next is make sure that you get together good documentation of your bona fide relationship. So just because you're not in the same place doesn't mean that you can't show good evidence, although it may be more difficult to have evidence of your relationship. For example, it may be hard to have a rental agreement or bills together, but you can do so many other things. You can have life insurance together. You can still have bank accounts together, savings accounts, credit cards. You can still have so many things together. And this is the type of proof that immigration likes to see. You can still file your taxes together. You can still do so many things to help beef up your evidence about your bona fide marriage, okay? But definitely give us a call, 212-248-7907, and let an attorney with experience help you with your case, okay? All right, hello to everyone. Thank you for everyone who is watching and asking questions. I'm gonna go ahead and start answering some questions live. The first question that I have on YouTube is DACA advanced parole takes 7 to 9 months. Is that a realistic timeline? Martha, yes, I would say that's probably pretty realistic. It may take even longer than 7 to 9 months just because things are very, very delayed with immigration right now, and things are taking a lot longer than expected in a lot of cases. It is basically a byproduct of COVID-19 slowdowns that's causing a lot of these delays, as well as cuts in staffing and contractors and so on and so forth. So 7 to 9 months for a DACA advanced parole is a pretty good estimate, but as with anything immigration related, always prepare for the unexpected. Anything can happen. Timelines can get longer basically at the drop of a dime, okay? All right. Hello, Zoheb. Hi, Zoheb. Happy New Year to you. All right, Diaz Guerrero is asking, can you tell me how much more are the consultation fees? Yes, Diaz Guerrero and anyone else who would like to consult with me, my consultation fee is a total of $150, and it's for a phone or a video appointment. Trust me, this is the best way. I know some people want to meet in person, but it is so easy to meet by phone and by video, and we give you ways to give us your documents so I could review them for the consultation. It is not necessary to have an in-person appointment, okay? Z35 is, I'm married with the 10 years green card. How long does it take to get my green card? Okay, so I think Z, it sounds like you're married to somebody with a 10-year green card, and you're asking how long it takes to get married and to get a green card, right? Well, if you're married to a resident, if you're not married to a citizen, you're married to a resident, you want to apply for a green card, there are two things to keep in mind. Number one is, are you in status? Are you in status, or are you here on an expired visa? And number two is, do you have any unlawful presence, and do you have any unauthorized work? Because if you're married to a green card holder and you want to apply for your green card, but you're out of status, or you have unlawful presence, or you have worked without authorization, then you need to wait for your spouse to become a citizen, because with these things, you're not really eligible to adjust your status. You will be found to be inadmissible, and you would need a waiver. You would need to go out of the country and go for processing in your home country for an immigrant visa. And before you leave, you need to get a waiver approved. And it's just a lot more difficult. So usually it's just you're better off waiting for your spouse to naturalize, and then they can begin your process. And when you're the spouse of a US citizen and you have unlawful presence, or you work without authorization, these are two things that do not prevent you from getting a green card, although you need to make sure that everything else is good, okay? But you can give us a call if you need assistance with this case. Do you do consultations in Florida? From Gloria. Gloria, I have lots of clients in Florida. You don't need to, I don't go to Florida, but I definitely do consultations with people who are in Florida by phone or by video, so give us a call. Don't let that be a factor in getting the proper legal help, okay? I applied for my green card for conditions removal in December 2019, but I still don't receive an interview yet from Arslan. Arslan, that is very normal. Anyone here who has a 2-year green card and who has applied for the removal of conditions of their green card and are waiting a long time. Here's the thing. These applications are decided very, very, very slowly by immigration. And I don't know why. They basically give you an extension of your status, and they take some time. Before, this extension of your 2-year residency used to be 1 year, and then it became 18 months. And nowadays, they're extending your conditional residency by 2 years, 24 months, okay? 24 months is how long of an extension you'll get, and your status will stay extended until you receive a decision. So I would say if the government itself is giving you an automatic extension of 24 months, it's because they expect your case to take about 24 months. And if your case may take even longer than 24 months because they plan on giving you an interview. And there's no telling how long it'll take to get an interview. The I-751 interviews are not a high priority for immigration offices. Their first priority is always going to be citizenship interviews, and then green card interviews for first timers, and then I-751. So you're probably going to have to wait a little bit longer. But I definitely recommend that if you have an interview for your I-751, make sure you have an attorney with you. And what happens if you have filed for this removal of conditions, your case takes 2 years, 3 years, and during the course of this time, your marriage falls apart, your spouse says they no longer want to help, or you get separated, you get divorced, or you go through worse treatment by your spouse. Then what is the way you can save your case so that you can get your 10-year green card and you don't end up in deportation? I would say give us a call, 212-248-7907, because When you have filed a removal of conditions on a joint basis with your spouse, but the relationship doesn't work out, you move out, you start getting divorced, or your spouse is starting to threaten you, they start to blackmail you, they say they're not going to show up to the interview, then you may be eligible to continue the case on your own and ask for an amendment of your case to get a waiver, okay? That is something that I love to do. I have helped so many people get waivers of the joint filing requirement for the I-751, and I go all over the country for these interviews because I strongly believe in representing my clients to the fullest possibility, max possibility, and these interviews are really, really important, okay? So you can give us a call, 212-248-7907 if you're in this situation, okay? All right, let's see what other questions I have. So I do have a YouTube channel, guys. I know that I'm live streaming right now to my YouTube followers, my Facebook followers, and my TikTok. But those of you who do not know that I have a channel on YouTube, yesterday I reached 25,000 viewers and subscribers on YouTube, which is an amazing achievement. Thank you to all of my YouTube followers for watching right now. And make sure you check me out over there because I've got lots of good videos on the immigration reform and other topics like immigration interview tips. My channel is called Moumita's Immigration Law TV. And anyone who is preparing for an interview, I've got some great tips over there, okay? And a question that I frequently get on YouTube is, what about the asylum green cards? What are the updates on that? And this is the thing that I want you to understand. None of this immigration reform has anything to do with the asylum-based green cards. If you have been approved for asylum and you have filed for a green card based upon asylum, really the reason why it takes so long is usually because the immigration office has to request your file from court or from the asylum office in order to conduct a flow review. And they don't prioritize these interviews. As I said, immigration, USCIS offices tend to prioritize citizenship interviews and then green card interviews for immediate relatives, and then I-751s and then asylums, right? So you have to wait a long time, but there's no control. Immigration reform has nothing to do with the asylum-based interviews, or with the green cards that are granted to asylees after approval, okay? All right. Another question that I have, what are the steps of citizenship for someone who has DACA from Sagittarius Switch? Sagittarius Switch, in order to get citizenship, you first have to get a green card. And if you have DACA, then you have to look to see whether you qualify for a green card on the basis of a family relationship or employer relationship or a humanitarian case type, okay? If you have DACA, let's say for example, if you have DACA and you're still underneath 18, underneath 21, and you are no longer with your parents, right? Your parents are back home or they don't take care of you, either one of them or both of them are no longer in your lives, that may be a way for you to get a green card in the future. And this is a very great sort of case. It's called SIJS, or Special Immigrant Juvenile Status. It is for children, basically, or minors who have been abandoned, neglected, or abused by one or both parents. And it is a great way to get a green card when you have DACA and you have no other options really because you're younger, you're not married, you don't qualify for any other employment type case, okay? If you find yourself in the situation and your age needs to be either under 18 or under 21, depending on what state you live in. For example, in New York, you can, as long as you're under 21, you may be eligible for this case, okay? Let's see. What's the cost to file for citizenship in California? From FK, the filing fee with immigration is always the same all over the country. It's $725, and the legal fees will vary by the case type. I was the victim of a crime. I got shot multiple times from Vegas Boy. Vegas Boy, you may qualify for something called a U visa. That's pretty serious. That was probably a felony level crime that you're a victim of. So give us a call. We would love to see if we can help you get a U visa, okay? 212-248-7907. I qualify for DACA but never applied. Can I still apply from Azucena? Azucena, if you qualify for DACA, then give us a call. The thing is that DACA is in a holding pattern right now. They will not reject an initial application. However, they will not process it at this time. However, you never know if that, the injunction might be lifted so that they can start processing the DACA cases again. I recommend you give us a call, 212-248-7907, so we can at least get it in the door. And maybe if it can get processed, then it will get processed if the rules change. Okay. The next question I have is, let's see. 10-year green card, how to get from Fancy Boy. Fancy Boy and anyone else who always has this question about how to get a green card, how to get a work permit, normally you need to be eligible for a category underneath family-based, employment-based, or humanitarian, and then we can see how to get you a green card. Okay, on a green card, can I bring my visas here? Can I bring my siblings here from Omer? Omer, as a green card holder, the only people that you can petition for them to get a green card is either your spouse or your children under 21. Everyone else, if you want to sponsor your siblings or your parents, you have to become a citizen first. I'm a citizen. My wife has a voluntary deportation in 2014, never left. What are her chances for papers? From KDS. So definitely, this is a special situation. If you're married to somebody who has a deportation order and they never left, you know, it's kind of like walking around with a ticking time bomb. You know, you really have to do something if you can. You may be, you know, it depends on why your wife was in deportation before and whether something else happened. I'd be happy to take a look at the case, Katie 90s. Definitely would need to get her A number, you know, if she has any criminal history, I would need to see those records. And also, obviously, if you're married, that's a pathway for her to possibly reopen her case because she has a removal order over her head at this point. So we have to ask the courts to reopen the case and to be able to proceed with filing a application based upon marriage. Okay, so all hope is not lost. We just have to do things in a smart way and in a good timeline to see what we can do for your wife. Okay, let's see. Thank you to everyone who's following me right now. How long does a notice of action 2 take now? Solid diamond. Solid diamond, I have to apologize. I don't know what NOA 2 means because that's not really a term that lawyers use. I think that's something that a lot of people use based upon the forums that I see. All right, Gabby Cruz, thank you so much. Gabby Cruz is saying congrats. Thank you so much for watching, Gabby. Esmeralda Rojas is saying, hi, I have a valid case, but I was arrested in '94 with false U.S. documents. How do I get a waiver, or am I not going to become a resident? Or am I not going to be able to become a resident? Esmeralda, this is a very special situation. So when a person, you know, I don't know exactly the specifics of your case. You know, I would definitely have to see. However, anyone who has ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen, and typically this claim can be made very, very benignly, right? For example, if you're using a U.S. birth certificate, or you use a U.S. passport, or you even check off a box on an I-9 form that says they're a U.S. citizen, this can basically make you in danger of having falsely claimed to be a U.S. citizen. And if this happens, then it's usually a barrier to becoming a green card holder because it's a very serious immigration violation. The only way to really waive it is if both of your parents are U.S. citizens and you reasonably thought that you were a U.S. citizen at that time. However, there's another case type, it's called the T visa, which is for trafficking, and through that case, it may be eligible to waive. So you can give us a call. I'd love to screen you to see if you're eligible for any of this. Okay, Esmeralda? If my spouse and I live in different countries, would I still be able to visit him temporarily while we have a pending green card application from Laura? Laura, yes, if your spouse is a green card holder and you and him live in different countries, to be able to visit him, we need to look at the visa requirements for the country that he's in right now. You should be able to visit him, hopefully. If you need assistance with something else, give us a call, okay? Can you give me a rough estimate on when I would hear back regarding an interview from Sushana Richards? Sushana, definitely waiting for an interview is like the toughest thing in immigration because it's really unreliable, the data out there, right? Because an interview in some offices may take about 3 or 6 months to get. In other locations, you might be waiting about a year or a year and a half. So it really, really depends. And I don't have an estimate, but here's a little tip for all of you out there. You can actually look up the processing timeline for each individual USCIS field office in the US, and you can just select the form I-485. When you look at the processing time for I-485, that's my little tip, my little secret about how to kind of estimate how much time you may have to wait for an interview, okay? And the last question I'm going to answer today is if someone's wife if someone has abandoned their spouse. Well, if someone is a U.S. citizen and they abandon the immigrant spouse, I would consider that possible grounds for emotional abuse and a possible way to file for a green card through VAWA. Beatrice, I would be very, very happy to hear more about the case. to see if you qualify to continue your process on your own and get a green card without the help of your spouse, okay? 212-248-7907. All right, everyone. With that, I wish everyone a very, very good night. I hope you all have a great day. Take care.